Polynomial long division. Tomorrow we'll learn synthetic division, but polynomial long division is a more difficult task, but it does work when dividing polynomials. Synthetic only works in certain situations. So let's first review what is a polynomial. So a polynomial is an equation, so it's just an equation, but there's two things it can't have. That equation cannot have, there's no negative exponents and no variables written as exponents. So as an example, if I gave you something like this, this would not be a polynomial because I have a variable in the exponent position. This would not be a polynomial because I have a negative number written in the exponent position, okay? So it's an equation, but you can't have a variable written as an exponent or a negative number written as an exponent. So today we are going to do polynomial long division. And for the first several problems, I'm literally only going to have you watch. Tomorrow you'll learn that we're going to use this task that we're going to learn today to identify the solutions to a polynomial. Today we're just going to learn how to do it. Tomorrow we're going to make sense of it. So you are only watching. Let's just do a really quick review. If I said to you, let's take 15 and let's divide it by 4. 15 divided by 4, you're just watching. So I go, how many groups of 4 fit into 15? I can fit 3 in, and I have a remainder of 3. So I have 3 fulls that can fit in, but I have a remainder of 3, so not quite a full extra unit. I have 3/4 of an extra unit, okay? That's going to come into play today with what we're doing. Here's your very first problem. Please write it down. Oh, no. Sorry, I think you're going to find more success in watching me do the first couple problems. Again, we'll make sense of where does this fit into what we're learning about tomorrow after we've learned how to do it. So I'm dividing here. So my first number goes inside the division bracket. The highest exponent is a 2, so there's 2, 1, and no numbers. A 1 goes in front, a positive 3 goes in front, and a negative 2. And then I have 1x minus 1 out front. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself, 1x times what gives you 1x squared? So 1 times 1 is 1, and x times what is x squared? X. So I know if I take a 1x times this quantity, I'll get a 1x squared. There are 3 columns in this particular problem. I need to write 1x in the column that only has x's, not x squared, not constants. So above here I write 1x. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to multiply it times these two quantities. 1x times negative 1 is negative 1x. 1x times 1x is 1x squared. If you end up with this number, you most likely have done this step correctly. The next step is to change the sign of anything on the second level here. So it was positive, make it negative. It was negative, make it positive. And now you're going to combine. So 1x squared and negative 1x squared canceled. That's what I want to achieve. And 3x and 1x, same sign, add, keep the sign of larger number. Bring down the next number. Underline again. 1x times what gives you 4x? The answer is 4. It's a positive 4. So in the column that's the constants, I write a positive 4. And now I'm going to distribute this positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 1. Positive 4 times negative 1 is a negative 4, and positive 4 times 1x is a 4x. In the second level here, I'm going to change the signs and I'm going to combine. This cancels, so I'm doing it right, and this combines to give you a 2. So just like the previous problem, we have a remainder. So how do we write this? Okay, this is what I have. I have 1x plus 4, but then I have this remainder. So plus a remainder of 2 over the quantity x minus 1. Final answer. next problem. Let's have you write down the next problem, which is similar to this one. Okay, please write down x cubed minus 5x minus 2 divided by x minus 2. Inside here, what is the highest exponent you see? Okay, now be careful here. So I need to do 3, leave space 2, leave space 1, leave space, and my constant. So a 1 is associated with the x cubed. But there is no x squared, so I need to put a 0 in front of the x squared. A negative 5 is associated with the x, and a negative 2 is the constant. Out front, I write x minus 2. 5 seconds, check in with your partner to make sure they understand how I went from the first step to this form. And go. 5. Talking to your partner. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Always start by underlining this and underlining this. So there's a 1 here. 1 times what is 1? 1, okay. So I need a total of 3 x's. I only have 1. So I need how many more? 2. So my answer is 1x squared. Now look here. There are 4 columns in this particular problem. In the x squared column, I'm going to write a 1x squared. And I know at this point you know that 1x squared is the same as just x squared. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to distribute this quantity to both numbers out front. 1x squared times negative 2 is negative 2x squared. So in the x squared column, I write negative 2x squared. 1x squared times 1x is 1x to the third. So in the x cubed, I write 1x cubed. Now in the second level here, I'm going to change the signs. This was positive, it becomes negative. This was negative, it becomes positive. And now I'm going to combine downward. These two cancel out. I'm doing that right. And these two combine to give you 2x squared. A common mistake I saw in the previous class is when they combined these two, they made a mistake and wanted to write 2x to the fourth. We keep the numbers exactly, the variables exactly the same. When you're adding and you have the same variable, you keep the variable, you just add the numbers in front, the coefficients. Okay, so I've brought down the next number. Let's underline again. So 1 times what is 2? Okay, the answer is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And how many more x's do I need? 1 more x. So the answer is positive 2x. So I go to the x column and I write a positive 2x. Okay, now I'm going to distribute that quantity to both numbers out front. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. 2x times 1x is 2x squared. I'm going to change the signs of everything at the second level, and I'm going to combine downward. Cancels out, so I'm doing it right. I get a negative 1x, bring down the next number. Okay, underline again. 1x times what gives you a negative 1x? So in the column with just constants, write a negative 1. And now I'm going to take the negative 1, I'm going to distribute it to both numbers out front. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. Negative 1 times 1x is negative 1x. Change the sign of everything at the second level. Cancels in front, and you end up with a negative 4. So what is your final answer? For this problem, it would be 1x squared plus 2x minus 1, but I have a remainder, plus a remainder of negative 4 over x minus 2. One through 5 right now, your understanding of 1 through 5. Lots of 3s or above, which is pretty impressive. Okay, this next problem you're going to write down with me. The only thing I want you to do in 10 seconds is to set the problem up. What I mean by set it up is what goes inside and what goes outside. Okay, on your own, you have 10 seconds to set it up. Okay, so the highest exponent is a cube, so leave space, cube, square, to the first, and constants. Now I put the numbers in. A 2 is associated with x cubed. There is no x squared, so plus 0x squared. Positive 4 is with the x, and negative 1. In front is 2x minus 2. Hands raised if you have this, just so I know where we are. Awesome. Okay, with your partner, you're going to have 2 minutes to see can you finish this problem. I'm going to stop you in 2 minutes and go over it. I'm going to begin in about a minute. Ready, get set, begin. Talking the entire time with your partner. Go. Jose, are you doing the problem? Okay, I'm going to start. 2x times what is 2x squared? Well, 2 times 2 is 1. I need 3x's, I only have 1, so I need to attach 2 more. So 1x squared is my answer, and it fits into this column, 1x squared. Now I'm going to distribute 1x squared times negative 2. Make sure it's in the right column. 1x squared times 2x. Now change the sign and combine down. 2x times what is 2x squared? And the answer is 1x. 1x times negative 2. 1x times 2x. Change the signs, combine down. 2x times 3 is 6x. 2x times 3 is 6x. Multiply. Multiply. Change the signs, add down. Do not feel bad if you have not caught on to this. We've only done 3 problems. Sometimes this takes students 2 days, 2 full days to catch on to. And people are going to work at their own speeds. But on a 1 through 5, first of all, quick raise hands if you're able to get this answer before I got it. Okay, 1 through 5, your level of understanding. Okay, so we're going to flip over. We're going to do a harder problem. I want you to put your pencils or pens down. Okay, just turn to your partner. You have nothing on paper. You're only talking. And in 5 seconds, predict the mistake that you think students will make if they rush when they're setting this up. 5 seconds go. 5, 2, 1. The mistake that a lot of students are going to make, is there anything missing? X squared. And so a lot of times, either students forget it or this is what they write. But, oh, so sorry here. Write it there. But in reality, first of all, they forget to even put this, or they put it like this. But in reality, if they write it down like this, what number is hiding there in front? 1. And 1, is there 1x squared up here? No. So you have to put a 0. Okay? Here's how we're going to do this. If you're feeling pretty confident, I want you to try this on your own. And if you feel like you need a little extra assistance, I want everybody to be quiet, and I want you to listen to me go step by step. 1x squared times what quantity equals 2x to the fourth? Well, I know 1 times 2 is 2, so I know I'm going to need a coefficient of 2. I need to end up with 4 x's, and I only have 2, so my answer is 2x squared. So I find the x squared column, and I write 2x squared. Now I'm going to take this quantity, and I'm going to distribute it to each one of the terms, starting from the back. 2x squared times positive 2 is 4x squared. 2x squared times negative 2x, we're multiplying the coefficients to equal negative 4, and you have 3 x's. 2x squared times 1x squared is 2x to the fourth. Now I'm going to change the sign of everything at the second level. And then I'm going to combine downward. So cancels in front, so what we want to achieve every time. Combines to equal 7x to the third minus 4x squared. Again, a common mistake is students want to add these exponents. When you're combining, you have the same base. You leave the bases alone and you combine the coefficients. Bring down the next number. 1x squared times what quantity equals 7x to the third? The answer is 7x, positive 7x. So in the x squared column, in the x column, I put a positive 7x. I'm going to take this quantity times all three out front. 7x times 2 is positive 14x, negative 14x squared, and 7x to the third. Now changing the signs. Negative, positive, negative. Combining downward, the first terms cancel, which we want to do every time. And bringing down the last term. 1x squared times what gives you 10x squared? 1x squared times 10 would give you 10x squared. Another common mistake I see students make is they forget to write the symbols in front. Make sure you have a symbol in front. So I'm now going to distribute the 10. Starting from the back, 10 times positive 2 is positive 20. 10 times negative 2x is a negative 20x. And 10 times x squared is 20x. Or sorry, is 10x squared. Change the signs at the second level. And combine downward. It's a negative 20 and it should be a 19. Yeah, did I do something wrong with writing this down? Okay, find my mistake for me right now. Oh, so a positive 1 and a negative 20 should be a negative 19 is what you're telling me, right? Yeah. Thank you. For those that are still confused, I combined these last constants wrong. This is a positive 1. This is a negative 20. Combine, different sign, subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. Any other questions you have for me? Yes, Stephen?
Is there any way that we could further simplify like 11x subtract 19 over x?
Can you simplify this any further? Is that what your question is?
Yes.
No, that is in simplified form.
Oh.
Great question.
Will there ever be a situation where we can't simplify?
Nope, not at this level there will not be. This is what we have. It's our leftovers. Yep. Anybody else? Very good question. Okay, so here's our next one. We're going to flip it over. You are going to work with your partner to take this problem as if it is a quiz. But first I want to make sure you set it up right. So please don't write down the initial problem. I only want you to set it up. We'll talk to make sure you set it up correctly, and then you're going to take it like a quiz. So first set it up on your own to see if you can do that. How many parts are missing in this particular problem? One is wrong. There's 2 parts missing. So there's an x missing here. I'm guessing most people caught that part. But what's missing here? The x. So x squared plus 0x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to time you. Working the entire time with your partner. You have 4 minutes. Ready? Get set, begin. Feel free to check your steps with mine. Anybody else achieve this answer? Hands raised.